In August of 23, I was on vacation in Paris. Second time I've been there. And again, as previously, I had gone to the Louvre. And of course, one of the things I wanted to see yet again was the Mona Lisa. Now, the interesting thing about the Mona Lisa is people's experiences of it. Because, well, if you've never seen the Mona Lisa, it's about this size, lengthwise, and about that width. It's not really a very big picture. And so when I went there, both times I heard, as people are taking pictures of it, sort of the same dialogue. What's the big deal? It's such a small picture. Why do people make such a big deal out of it? I don't get it. What are people impressed by? And so on and so forth. And I think the reason, of course, is their expectations. It is what they were sort of in their own mind's eye, what they were expecting to see, and that didn't match up with what was before them. And in many ways, that's the same thing that would happen with Jesus. As he asked his disciples, who do people say that I am? They give him a whole list of different people. It essentially comes down to people didn't know what to make of him. They already had in their idea what the Christ was supposed to do. He was going to be a powerful figure that would free the people of Israel from their oppression, that would make them great once more. And yet, he was this poor itinerant preacher just walking around Israel. It didn't make sense. But much like the Mona Lisa, with my expectation of it was much different. I knew that this picture had literally changed art history. And it made the whole idea of making a true portrait, how the use of color and light and darkness, all of that was revolutionary when Leonardo da Vinci painted it. And art would never be the same again from what he did. It looks small, but it made an amazing impact on history. And as they looked at Jesus and they saw this itinerant preacher, they were missing something. They were missing the truth that we have. We know who Jesus truly is. He is not like Muhammad or Buddha or any other religious leader you might want to mention. Because Jesus is God. He is the second person of the Trinity. And in his person, he is both 100% divine and 100% human. And no one else can claim that. And not to believe that is not to be Christian. It's really that simple. It is at the heart of our faith. And why is that so important? Because if that is not our expectation, our sense of who Jesus really is, then like Peter, we can become an obstacle to the faith. Peter didn't like to hear what Jesus was saying. He's going to die and rise. He didn't fully understand what that meant, or that that was the purpose that Jesus came for. And so he was trying to quiet Jesus down. And Jesus makes very clear what he thinks of that. And as we recognize that reality, we then have to ask ourselves and recognize that Jesus is asking us, The same question that he asked his disciples so long ago. Who do you say that I am? Because how we answer that question will determine how we understand our faith, how we will live that faith out, and how we will live our lives. Because as we hear from James today, it is very clear there is no such thing in Christianity as a private faith, as a faith that we keep to ourselves. That is no faith at all, particularly no Christian faith. Our faith must be demonstrated. It must be lived out. It must be shown to the world. And if we truly believe that Jesus is the Son of God, and we recognize the great gift that he has given us in the Eucharist, the gift of his very self, not a sign or symbol, but truly Jesus present to us to strengthen us in our faith in order to help us to live out and to demonstrate that faith by our words and actions. And that is why we are here. We are here that our faith may be demonstrated, that our faith might be strengthened, that our faith might be lived out. For that is what Christ calls us to. That is what the scriptures teach us to do. And as we open ourselves to what Christ is calling us to, as we open ourselves to live that faith, to demonstrate our faith through our works, we can only do that if we truly understand who Jesus is. And so as Jesus has done through every generation, he asks each disciple each and every day to answer this simple question. And it is a question we must hear each day in our lives, and we must hear Jesus asking us, who do you say that I am?